Hi guys, Mark Dawes NFPS Limited. Now what I'm going to talk to you about now is really important it's a rare opportunity, so please bear with me while I go through some stuff with you because I would really love you to attend this day for you. On the 26th of June this year, we have a one-day event at the Lillishall National Sports Centre in the lovely lecture theatre that they have there. And I have three really eminent speakers coming along to talk to you. I have Eric Baskind, who is an eminent lawyer, and you can read Eric's resume below this actual video. Eric is also a very good physical skills practitioner and instructor as well, so he can come at this from both aspects. I've got Dr. Tony Bleakman coming along, and many of you will know Tony. And if you don't know Tony, Tony is a preferred Home Office medical professional. He was also involved in the Gareth Meyer inquest. He wrote the report that the coroner referred to and the Youth Justice Board took on his recommendations. He's coming along to speak to you too. I've also got Colin Ash, who is the Director of Health and Safety for a large government organisation that's involved in the criminal justice system. He's going to come and talk to you about health and safety legislation and how it applies to use of force situations in the workplace and what your rights and responsibilities are, and also your liabilities too. Now, why have we put this day on? Why have we decided to do this? Well, here's the reason. If you've been following our blog post recently, you'll see that we've challenged Ofsted because of an inspector's recommendation in particular care homes, and we found out that these sort of recommendations are happening all over the place, and we're challenging them. And these guys are going to talk to you about that too. We've also challenged the chair of the Independent Restraint Advisory Panel, which is a panel set up under the Department of Education for government on a statement made by that chair that is actually illegitimate. It's legally wrong. Now, that's not me saying that. We've had a barrister look at this and say, no, absolutely right, that statement is wrong. Shouldn't have been made. But this is why it's important this day. If you are involved with these people, and these people are likely to come and affect your area of work, so you are a head teacher of a school, or you own a care home, or you are a trainer, or you're a security company, and these people come out and say you can't do this and you can't do that, and if you carry on doing that, we're going to prosecute you, or we're going to set restrictions on you, or we're going to go to all the placement agencies and stop the children in care coming to you, that can affect your business. So you could be under pressure to adopt these recommendations. But here's the real problem with that. If you adopt something that you know to be wrong and you know won't work, and therefore it increases the risk to the people in your care and to your staff, and someone gets seriously injured on one hand, or God forbid dies on the other, you've got everything coming from a health and safety prosecution or being sued for negligence, right through to the corporate manslaughter charge and the Corporate Manslaughter and Corporate Homicide Act, which could also result in your business folding and you going to prison. So they can threaten you with implementing this, and that could affect your business, or you could implement it and someone could die and you haven't got a business. You can challenge these decisions, you know. You don't have to put up with them. You can challenge their competence. They're not God. You know, we don't live in a police state. You are allowed to challenge these things. It is a democracy, and that's why we've written to the Secretary of State and the Shadow Secretary of State and Lord Laming, and we've written to Lord Toby Harris and Lord Ramsbotham, and we've sent this out to Daily Mail as well, because we are challenging this on people's behalf all the time. And we're not stupid. We check everything before we challenge it. And if they want to take us to court, happy days. Let's have a day in court. Let's get this into the public domain. Now, we're able and willing to do this. And I want you to see why you're willing and able to do this too, or at least you should be willing, and the reason why you should be able to do this. Because it is absolutely wrong to implement a recommendation that increases risk. It goes against all of the good practice guidance and all of the laws that we know. And yet, we have inspectors going out there saying, you can't do this and you can't do that, and by not doing that, it puts people at risk. I was talking to a foster carer only the other day who told me that his child that he was caring for was causing damage to his neighbour's property. He went out there, brought the child back in the house, and I'm not talking about a major restraint here. He brought the child back in the house, locked the front door, sat the child down and spoke to the child about why it was wrong. He was told by social services that you can't do that because if the child wants to leave the house and jump on the neighbour's property and cause damage, the child has human rights. Absolutely barking mad. I've got no other words for it. It's absolutely barking mad. I've also heard that Ofsted inspectors have been telling people that you can't lock a door to stop a child leaving a building because you can't do that unless you are a secure establishment and you have authority from the Secretary of State. Yet, in the very regulations that Ofsted inspectors are expected to comply with, it says that you must have safeguards and practices in place to stop children absconding. And in case anyone's missing anything here, we've had a huge amount of issues with children who've absconded that have been groomed for prostitution by gangs of sexual predators. We've had the Yewtree inquiry about Jimmy Savile going on. And if you remember Fred and Rosemary West, the reason they got so many victims was that children were walking out of care homes because staff believed they couldn't stop them. And at one case, they did a trawl in one area of this country and they found 50 children missing, whereabouts unknown. So, if you are an Ofsted inspector watching this and you think it's okay to tell a care home that they can't lock a door, then I hope that you're going to hold your hands up and stand up to account in court when that child is actually groomed for prostitution or, God forbid, killed because you can't lock a door because it's not in the child's best interests. Mad. This day, we're taking it on full on. You're going to hear from these people who are far more eminent and far more competent than I am. If you are a professional trainer in this field, or if you are a manager, you need to do CPD. We're going to issue you with a certificate on this day. So you've got that, you can put that towards your CPD hours, whichever organisation you're doing your CPD with. But let me just explain something. The certificate is the last thing you want to be interested in coming on this day. This day is going to be groundbreaking for you. It's a breakthrough day. I've called it, the legal, the law-abiding revolution. I think it's time that we actually stood up and actually said, no, the law doesn't say this. You're making this stuff up. And a very good friend of mine, John Stedman, always said this to people. He said, look, if you don't know your rights, you haven't got any. You're going to get this firsthand. And we're going to give you a shed load of stuff after you leave as well. We always over-deliver. It's part of our promise and commitment to you. We're going to give you a shed load of stuff. We're going to Dropbox it to you after you've left, so that everything that's referred to in the presentation, you will have to hand as well. And we may have some other goodies for you as well, which I can't tell you about yet because I haven't had them confirmed, but they'll be there as well. But the cost of this day is absolutely justified by what it's going to save you in heartache, stress, and God forbid fines and prosecutions. It really, really is worth attending. Now, when I started off in this industry, I researched everything I could so I could get a competent understanding of it. And I'm no one special. I'm just a trainer. I'm just a trainer. I run a training organisation. I'm a private company. I'm not a governing body. I'm not a lawyer. I do expert witness stuff. That's about as far as I go. But I am prepared to challenge something that I know to be wrong. Now, I understand the pressures that a lot of you are under, and this is why this day is on. Come and meet the guys. There's going to be lots of our trainers there. There's going to be lots of professional people there. And by the way, if you are someone that's got something to add to value to this day, so if you are a human rights lawyer watching this and you want to add something to this day, get in touch. If we can, we'll give you a slot to speak. If you're a social worker and you want to add a bit to this day, get in touch. If we can, we'll give you a slot to speak. It's got to be good. We've got to have good information out there. And also, if you've got any questions, we're going to have a question box at the side of the desk. You can write your questions down, stick them in the question box. At the break, we'll look at the questions and we'll answer your questions for you. And also, what we'll also do, if we don't get the chance to go through every question on the day, because obviously we've got information we want to give you, my commitment to you is this. I will write down every question. I will give you an answer to every question. And then after the seminar, we will email the answers to those questions to you. Can't say fairer than that, can you? Now, as I've said, 26th of June, the Lilleshall National Sports Centre near Telford in Shropshire. We are limited on places and we can only take whatever the lecture room can hold, which is around about 100 people. After that, we can't take any more. And we can't even bring other chairs in. It's a fixed lecture theatre with fixed seats. So we just cannot take any more. That's the capacity we've got. So if you do wish to come, don't hesitate, book it now. Remember this, you are expected to do your due diligence in whatever field you're in, not just accept stuff because someone's told you it's right. And if you knowingly take on board a recommendation by a government body or anyone, and you have doubts about that and that increases risk, then you are technically liable for that, for not doing your due diligence in the first place. And this day is going to give you some excellent information to allow you to increase your due diligence so you can make the right decisions and do what all this is supposed to be about anyway, which is reducing risk and minimizing restraint in the first place. So, great day, great speakers, really hope you can attend. Just, read the information below, click on the button, book your place. If you're hesitating on this, forget it, you're not going to get a seat. We'd love you to be there. Click on that now and we'll see you there. Thanks very much for listening.